Since the time want to get started. Brothers, my name is Rashawn Howard. I am your Eastern Regional Director of Bigger and Better Business, and this is our third iteration of the Eastern Region 2024 Billboard Jack Small Business Development Series. Our first iteration, we did Plan Your Business. What is your passion? What are you excited about? What are you looking to, make money on or start your business on? And how do you get started? What are the first steps? That was workshop one. Workshop two was writing a successful business plan. What are the components of a business plan? What should you spend most of your time garnering and putting together? And how should you create an effective business plan for the opportunity to win things like grants, competitions, to win over investors? And today, brothers, super excited about our third iteration today, which is market your business. The first half of today, we're going to talk about marketing resources that the SBA may have, and we're going to talk about the different intricacies and tips on how to market your business through your business plan. And then we're going to talk about how to present your business. And all of these things, brothers, come together to ensure that you are sharp and you're ready to present and hand in one of the best applications you can hand in when it comes to the Billboard Jackson, right? We want to make sure that you're equipped with the resources, with the understanding, so that way you can put your best foot forward for an opportunity. We were just talking about when some of y'all was logging on at, $22,000 for alumni and an additional $22,000 for collegians. Looking at our participants list, but knowing that we're recorded, I want to say on behalf of the 28 Eastern Regional Director, our International President, 36 International President, Brother Chris Ray, to all of our regional international officers, our DSC members, PBS members, a special shout out to our International Director of Bigger and Better Business who is on the call today, and to all the brothers of the Eastern region. I appreciate you all for joining. We are in for an amazing workshop today, as we have a special guest from the SBA, Mr. Larry Webb, who's going to give some insight, some industry insight, right, on how we can be successful in marketing our business. But before I move this on to our presentation host, Brother Wes Lewis, who is our DC Metro area BBB coordinator, I want to hand the mic over to one of my favorite people in Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Brother Terrence Gibson, our International Director of Bigger and Better Business, to say a few words.
Hey, good evening. Good evening, my brothers. It's great to be in the midst of you guys. I'm multitasking on my director's call, but I just wanted to show face for a bit. I just want to give kudos to Brother Rashawn Howard, Eastern Region, Bigger and Better Business Director, for putting this on. For the last couple of years, the competition has gotten fierce. And with that, each region is bringing different competitions, different competitors out. And now you have situations like this where you have the appropriate training that can get you prepared for, the Billboard Jackson competition, whether it's a state competition, whether it's a regional competition, up to the international competition. So I just suggest that you all take note, take heed to all the advice that is being given to you guys, because $20,000 can change a life. And I have saw it firsthand where it has changed not only a collegiate member's life, but an alumni member's life as well. So kudos to you guys for getting on this call and want to be able to obtain the knowledge that is being presented to you. So with that being said, man, just keep up the great work, Brother Rashawn Howard, that you're doing. And, I'll just be listening in.
I appreciate you, Brother Gibson. And now I'm going to pass the mic over to Brother Wes Lewis, who will be our moderator for today's event.
Thank you, Brother Director. Good evening, brothers of the East. Brother Director, are you still going to be sharing these slides?
Yep, I'm getting ready to get you right back going.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So before we go in, again, My name is Wes Lewis, DC Director, Coordinator for Bigger and Better Business. Last session, we were joined by Ms. Janelle Hine, SBA Director, District Director based in Jacksonville, Florida. Tonight, in another awesome collaboration with SBA, we're joined by Mr. Larry Webb, District Director here in my neighborhood. Several of the brothers on this call, shout out to Zeta Chi Sigma, of the Washington metropolitan area. Now, we'll hear more from Mr. Webb later on in the event as we discuss how the SBA can support you on your journey. Now, really quick, want to just run through the MOU that the NPHC has with the SBA. The SBA provides us with resources, speakers, and training opportunities to support entrepreneurship and economic growth. And they also assign a local liaison to work directly with us, our region, our chapters. And in turn, Sigma, we promote SBA's programs to our members. We share the materials and refer brothers to their services. And we also provide speakers for the SBA events, links to our websites, and appoint a liaison just to ensure that we're having that strong collaboration. So this partnership, it really reflects our dedication to empowering those communities, our communities, and building opportunities for success. So I just want to make sure that brothers are aware of the nature of the MOU that SBA has with not just Phi Beta Sigma, but the entire Divine Nine. Next slide, please. So for tonight's agenda, again, the ultimate goal of this is to help sharpen your business and ensure that your message is articulate to the point of being able to inspire that confidence in those who might be in a position to grant your business with the financial resources needed in order to scale. So we're going to talk about how to understand your market, building relationships, identifying and leveraging effective tools and strategies, challenges and solutions. We're going to teach you how to measure success and the importance of doing such. We'll cover any sort of resources, and especially we'll touch base with our SBA point of contact, Mr. Larry Webb, just to talk about how the SBA can help you on that journey. And then, of course, we will open up the floor for any sort of questions and feedback. All right, so understand your market. Now, it's going to be really important to understand how to define your audience and why that aspect is essential. Now, knowing your target audience is going to help you avoid wasting your time, wasting effort, and it'll allow you to create more personalized messaging in the message that you do have that you're using to promote your business, your offerings, your services. For example, if you have a business that's targeting entrepreneurs, right? You may broadly miss niche needs of early stage startups versus maybe like an established business. So you have to be really cognizant of who you're targeting before you start articulating your message, writing out your message and pushing it, identifying where your market resides. You don't want to be talking to the wrong audience. You don't want to be sharing the wrong message that doesn't resonate. Understanding research, how to do research, the value of research, conducting online polls, analyzing competitors. We talked about this in the last session with your business plan. All of this should reside in your business plan, and understanding how to use technology. We're in 2024, going on 2025. Technology is going to be your asset. It's going to be your enabler to uncover insights and further segment your customer base by age, industry, challenges, purchasing behaviors. That will all help you refine your business message. And then lastly, you want to position that value. It's definitely important to have and be able to articulate a clear value proposition. If there's any doubt on how to do this, ultimately your question should be, why should a business choose my product or service over another? Okay, so as far
Repeat
as
that one more time.
say one more time for the people in the back.
Repeat that one more time.
Yep. If there's any doubt on how to position your value as a business or as a business owner, ask yourself, why should a business choose my product or service over another?
That's very, very important. Some of these discussion items, right? We want to incorporate and think, how do I win Billboard, or how do I win money? How do I, apply and successfully gain grants, right? How do I get investors? And, Brother Wes Lewis just made a great point. So like we said in the last couple workshops, I hope you have your pen and paper, right? I want you to write down and start to think about, how does your business product or service provide value to your target audience? So, or how will it, right? If you don't have your business yet, right? What or who is your target audience, and how will it provide value to your target audience? Brother Lewis?
Thank you, Brother Director. Now, as you build relationships, I think one of the key lessons that any business owner will learn in this cold world, right? Having the proper relationships will carry you much further than trying to attempt any of this by yourself. But with relationships comes trust. What do business owners value? Transparency. If you are promising a value, if you have a value prop, you better deliver on it. If someone invests in your service or product, you had better deliver and show evidence of that expertise. As you, I'm a government contractor. As I build past performance, that past performance in itself and the results and the feedback coming from my clients, that helps to propel me for other opportunities. If I mess over one of my clients, that will carry forward in the worst of ways. So it's definitely important for you to ensure that you are able to deliver on your promises. Networking best practices. You're going to have to network. You're going to have to put yourself out there, or at least if you're in position to delegate, someone else can represent your business as long as they know it better, as well as, if not better than you. Leverage platforms like LinkedIn, Business Networking International, local meetups. That will definitely help you reap benefits in terms of growing a network of like-minded individuals and businesses that will likely patronize your business. Industry conferences, workshops, webinars for that in-person element. That's all beneficial, and of course, value first.
Definitely.
Yeah, go
And
ahead.
you mentioned it when you talk about, LinkedIn meetups. But brothers, the Billboard Jackson is also a place where you can learn from other business owners, get to know them, and get an understanding of what their successes are. And they may have, what they do for a living may be a complement to what your business is, right? We talk about building relationships. I'm going to plug in effective tools and strategies. I'm going to plug a tool that you have right at the palm of your hand, right in the blueprint. And that is the Sigma Business Locator, right? I hope that everyone on this call who has a business already or who offers a product or service have filled out their About Me section in the blueprint. So that way brothers can go and look you up and support your business and get an understanding of what your business or your product or service offering is. That's the first step, right? Is exposure. So we look at social media, email marketing, content marketing. These are other ways, right? You can market your business. You want to put a strategic plan together on how you want to market your business. Now, I can teach all of you guys about ClickFunnels for $599.99 in April, and I'll make sure to send you guys the registration and invoice link to take a part of that workshop, right? Because that's a whole nother workshop in itself on, how, because email marketing is still king. At the end of the day, email marketing is still king. But when you're presenting to investors, when you're presenting to judges trying to win a pitch competition, it's really, what is your marketing strategy? I need to be confident that your marketing strategy is going to garner you revenue for your business. So posting on social media, I always say social media is the icing on the cake. It's not the cake. And sometimes it's not even the icing. It might be the sprinkles on the icing. That's there for exposure. That's there for people who are lookers, who just want to see your success. It's like the aftermath of everything in a certain manner, right? So there needs to be a consistent and strong marketing plan that you can speak to on how you're going to access your target market and garner resources from them. And so your next thought process is, are there specific types of content, whether it's blogs, video, infographics, that work best for your business? Because these are some of the things that you want to incorporate in your strategic marketing plan, right? How are you going to build that base when it comes to reaching out and getting to your target market? You have to figure out, you have to go to them, right? They're not going to come to you. They don't know who you are yet. You have to go to them. So what does that marketing strategy look like with you going and reaching out to your, going too far, to your target market? Brother Wes?
Absolutely. So, and just to kind of piggyback on that point, if you think about your social media, kind of like if you think about your message like a bite snack meal approach, right? Your social media is essentially your bite. What will you do to ensure that your target audience takes the bait and comes in? Your email marketing as well. And, if a fish looks at a piece of bait and thinks that there's something up with it, it's not going to bite. It's going to swim away, and it's probably. I don't know how fish communicate. I don't know if they're telling the other fish, "Hey, you see that piece right there? Don't go for that." But if you can encourage your target audience to take the bait, whether it's through social media, through email marketing, through content marketing, through your website, you can drive them to the next stage, the snack. They learn more about your products. They learn about your services. They learn about who you've served in the past. And that meal, that's the call. That's the call that you have, the conversation where you have all opportunity to really push your message. And it had better be articulate. It had better be refined so that you can close as soon as you are possibly able, so that you can turn that lead into a deal. Now, what we have here, we're talking about common challenges and solutions. We've got three common with small starting up businesses. No marketing budget, no funds for marketing activities or tools. Free. Go free. There's so many free tools out there, and I'll be completely honest. I'm with my brothers here as an active member of my graduate chapter, Zeta Chi Sigma. I'm in Canva and MailChimp at least every other week, figuring out how to
Every
get
other week, every other hour.
Huh? You said what?
That's every other week, every other hour.
I mean, hey, I'm just coming out of office, man. I'm still engaged, but you learn so much with learning how to design your own flyers, how to, and MailChimp gives you templates, so you can use that and study the A/B tests that MailChimp offers you. You learn how to do this, and you can apply it to your business. For number two, you're just starting out. You have a limited or no reach. You're just getting started. That's not unexpected. But what you do here, I think you have to understand, there's no shame in asking for an assist. Nobody or very few of us do this alone successfully. Partner with other businesses, small businesses, for cross promotion. If you're looking to get into a partnership that already exists, subcontract. There are small businesses out there that are actually working. Work with them. Leverage that relationship to build your to build your business, to build your reputation, to build your reach. And once you start building those positive connections, you will scale and you'll be able to increase your reach. And lastly, inconsistent engagement. Let's say you have a reach, you're starting to build it, but people aren't really engaging with it. It doesn't matter if you have 2,000-3,000 followers, nobody's engaging with your content. You're going to have to work on that message, that brand message, to stand out. You're going to find yourself attracting more attention when you don't seem like everyone else in your lane, saturating the market with the same statements, the same tired value propositions. What are you doing to set yourself apart from your competition? Okay. Next slide. All right. I think that one before is the last one before we.
No, you're good.
Yep.
You're good where we are.
Okay, cool. Okay. So what we'd like to do next, wanted to open up the floor for our special guest, Mr. Larry Webb, SBA District Director, wanting to see if we can get a little bit more perspective from the SBA angle on how to refine that message, marketing yourself in a manner, marketing your business in a manner that attracts and inspires confidence with entities that could provide you with the funding needed to grow your business. Say, for example, the Billboard Jackson program. Mr. Webb, I want to just welcome you once again and open the floor up for you to share any feedback you have with the brothers.
Bless, thank you very much, Rashad and the other brothers for and the leadership for having me here this evening. It is a great honor to be with you tonight. And first of all, you've hit on all of my themes. I'm going to because this isn't it's not rocket science, but it is nuanced, right? Because I could give you a list of things that you should do. How you do them, how effectively you do them, and how consistently you do them will make the difference between success and failure, or success and less success. Let's put it that way. No one's failing this course, but it does make a difference. And so, I just want to jump on a couple of things, and then I'm going to talk about specifically what the SBA can offer as solutions. But a couple of things that you talked about right off the top is building relationships. And I talk about this all the time, and it sounds a little trite, a little simplistic. Sometimes it sounds like it like pablum, but in reality, people do business with people that they like and people that they trust. And so your first customers, as it were, your first marketing circle, that first circle of folks need to be people that know you, people that trust you, and people that can be your amplifiers out to a broader market. So if you're talking about social media, it's going to be the people that are already following you, right? The people that already have some investment in what it is that you're talking about, and having them be your amplifiers. You see, and I know people see it on social media all the time. I see it with a lot of people, friends of mine that are artists. They talk about a lot of people like their stuff, but are you promoting it? Are you sending it out to other folks? That's going to be your call to action. To not just like my stuff and not just say I like my cookies. You got a lot of people that, when you start a business, you have people that are like, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want anyone else to know they make really good cakes. Every time I need a cake, I can go over there and get a cake real fast. You don't need those kind of people in your circle necessarily. You need people that are going to promote you. Those are the kind of folks that you want to have in your circle. The other thing about building relationships that I believe it was Rashad or maybe it was Wes talked about was this blueprint, this business locator that you guys have access to. Build from where you are every time. It's one thing to say, well, I'm going to go over here and build a whole new um, forest, over yonder. I'm gonna start from scratch, and I'm gonna build this community over here. Versus, I have a community of folks. I have a community of folks that I have similarities with, that I have commonality with, that I have a bond with. Now, we very well, maybe there are people within that business locator that are in the same business or the same function that have the same sort of business profile as you. Those are called frenemies for business sake. Because as Wes just talked about, that person who also has, let's say, a government contracting business, or let's say a printing business or a construction business, that may be an opportunity for, once again, a subcontract. That may be an opportunity for a partnership to go after business together. That may just, maybe that they're an accountant and you are a contractor. Maybe we can do a little quid pro quo here, right? Because that person then talks about the fact that, oh, I know this contractor. You talk about, oh, I know this accountant, and you build from there. If you do good work, that person will be happy to talk about you later to the next person, and so on and so forth. So I know it's somewhat simplistic, but that's actually the way people build businesses. You don't just go from 0 to 100. You go from 0 to 1 to 5 to 10 to 20. That's the way it happens. And so, so many people look at, big successes, hundreds of millions of dollars or $1 billion, or, they have these large contracts. Each one of those started with one contract, one agreement between the business owner and that first customer. And they built from there. That's, you know, Trees and plants grow from seeds every time. None of them just grow. None of them just appear. No redwood just ever appeared. In the Northwest. Towering over the land. It was a seed, and it's planting those seeds and being consistent in the plantation of those seeds that really makes a difference. I want to switch in because I don't actually know how much time I have here, so I don't
Larry, I
want
just want to say I appreciate the Nick Sirianni reference. Fly, Eagles, fly.
and this is an opportunity. I will say, a grant opportunity. First of all, as an entrepreneur, first and foremost, being able to get a grant is a blessing. Because most entrepreneurs don't get grants. We live in a capitalist society where it's catch as catch can. Money is difficult to get. Um, Trust me, I didn't know Wes says he's a government contractor. I know he knows what that looks like. Others on here I know what that looks like. And so a grant opportunity is a rare opportunity to be able to go after. It's not that they don't exist, but they don't exist that much for private sector businesses. So this is a really great opportunity. But whether it's a grant or you're talking to a lender or you're talking to someone about equity injection into your business, it doesn't matter which one of those things you're talking to. People care about where their money is going to go and if they're going to get what they're paying for, or what they're investing in. An investor wants the return on their dollars. A lender wants to make sure that they're going to get their money back with interest. And a grantor is going to be as serious, as careful about to whom it grants money, because it's still their money, right? And so they're going to be very selective. They're going to be very careful about where that money is going to go, which in some ways means that you have to be even more clear upfront about how successful you plan to be and how you're going to accomplish that success. And so it's interesting. We didn't really talk about my background, but I come from a legal background. I also ran a nonprofit, so I've gone after grants, and I've had to not this type of grant. My kind of grant was the kind of grant where they give you money, then you got to write reports so that they give you the rest of the money on a regular basis, right? Otherwise, you're just out there. But in each one of those scenarios, you have to know what the other person is thinking. And so I want to just talk about that for a second, because it dovetails with knowing your customer, it dovetails with knowing your market, and it dovetails with knowing potential funders. And I didn't really think this was going to be the case when I came and started doing this work 3 years ago. I was working for the agency as an attorney for 10 years in a variety of different ways, but I come from a litigation background. And one of the things you learn as a litigator is you need to understand what the other side is thinking. You need to understand what they're thinking, what they want, and what their levers are. If you're going to, as you go to this competition, what are the judges thinking? What do they want from this process? What does Phi Beta Sigma want from this process? They've been doing, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I know at least for 1 year, because I know that Rashad won locally last year. But what does the frat want from this process? And what do the judges that are sitting there want? They want to know, they want to see competence, they want to see preparedness, they want to see an understanding of the market, where your business is today, what its struggles are, and how you're going to overcome them. And so those are the ways, because this is a pitch versus marketing. Now, this is marketing to a particular way, but a pitch is a very specific thing. It is a performance. It is a performance. It is a performance where you need to be paced. You need to have a clear message. You need to hit your cues and your beats and your dance moves and all the stuff, right? Effectively for the audience. I've watched many a pitch over in my years. And the people, some people, you understand their heart, you see the passion, but let me be real clear about heart. And I say this about lenders all the time. A lot of people go into a bank or other type of lender, and they talk about how much this means to them, how long they've been working on this. And, we've had this in my family for many, many years and blah, 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 blah. And I don't say that to say that those things are not important. They are important. They are what is driving you. But a lender wants to know, are you going to be successful and are you going to pay me back? That's it. And so if you're not talking that language, then you're losing them. And similarly, in this business, in this entrepreneurial journey, you need to understand what in the pitch the judge is going to be looking for and trying to have a sense of that. So I would talk to past winners potentially, or past competitors potentially, right? Past judges. Maybe they're not judges this year, but maybe they were judges before. Hey, you have this is a small circle, right? So you should be able to find that person and say, hey, what were the motivators? What were people looking for? So that you're prepared for that conversation. You're not guessing. You actually have done the work to figure out. It's the same thing that you're going to be doing when you're marketing your business. What's the market? Where are the people? What do they want? Let's say that you're selling, let me just pick something, deodorant. You have a new eco-friendly deodorant. Someone already has deodorant. Most people. Most people. So you need to then have a conversation with them about why it is that you have something, once again, that is new and novel, right? It's fresher. It meets some goal that the customer wants, desires. The ingredients come from the motherland. We use shea butter, but it's not just any old kind of shea butter. It's a newfangled shea butter that is, that increases your pheromones or whatever the case may be. But those are the types of things that you need to do. The last thing before I just talk about SBA basic stuff, and it was mentioned earlier, you only have so many resources when you're trying to start a business. And let me be really clear, most of those resources are going to be yours, right? So they're going to be your time and your money. Most small businesses are started on people's savings. People use credit cards, people use mortgages, etc. Because most lenders, that's why I say that the grant situation that you find yourself in is a novel thing. Most lenders are not going to lend money to a business that is brand new. They're going to want to see past sales, projections, etc. And if you are brand new, you don't have those types of things. And so it behooves you to figure out how you're going to use the resources that are yours. Because if you're a family person, a family man in this case, I don't have to say and women because there are no women on the line. I don't think. It's your resources and potentially your kids' resources or the future resources that you're putting out there. And so you want to be very strategic about those things. And I know those are just buzzwords. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna use an example. I think that Wes, I'm gonna piggyback on his baiting analogy from before. Yes, you want to bait, but a lot of businesses get into they lose the bait analogy and they want to do the net in the ocean piece, where you just throw a big net in the ocean, you pull back every possible fish, and then you sort through it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money. Versus being very specific about, and it takes time to figure out that, but what is the bait that I have to get a very specific type of fish? Because all fish doesn't like all bait. And so that's the work that you do in the marketing and in the homework, in the research, is to figure out what kind of fish am I looking for? and what kind of bait does it like? And some of that is, some of that is art versus science. And you have to test the market literally to figure it out. But that's what you want to do, and that's why you figure out the age, the location and there are tools both that the SBA have and that other folks have. I know Rashad talked about having some tools as well, but Rashad, I'm sorry, talked about having some tools as well. But those are the types of tools that are out there. You should not be recreating the wheel. And so with that, I'm going to just talk very briefly because I know there's some slides.
Larry, before you do that, I want you to really, really go deep into the SBA, and it's going to be a part of our next program. I want to give some time for our Eastern Regional Vice Director to just come on and say a few
Absolutely.
words of inspiration, because we have another program at 8 o'clock that we all should be jumping on.
Absolutely.
So, but I do want
now
you to
know when
get
this
to
is
the
over.
resources. But I
Yeah.
want to get our brother Vice to be able to give some words, because he's our immediate past Eastern Regional Director of Bigger and Better Business, and he was my coach during the last time we did this. So,
Absolutely.
Brother Vice, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to come on and say how proud I am of Brother Bashawn Howard, man. I'm not sure if you brothers realize the lengths of where this program began at, in terms of how we initially started with maybe a $500 grant, then going to $1,000 grant nationally. Right now, the grant will be $20,000 each, one for collegiate and one for an alumni. And what he's taken this coaching aspect of the Billboard Jackson Grant competition and for the Eastern region is wonderful. I'm so proud to see so many brothers on the call. I'm also, he alluded to, I'm also the committee chair for the Billboard Jackson competition. So everything that Mr. Webb has been saying, and Brother Howard as well as Brother Lewis has been saying, is right on cue in terms of what we're looking at and how we will be judging how this competition will be. Brother Howard has been through this process. He knows it. He's been coached by a great guy. I don't know what his name is, but some great guy coached him when he was going through it. Came up a little short, but next time I think he's going to like knock that out of the park. But keep up the great work. We are here to help and assist in any way that we possibly can, and I'm looking for great things from the Eastern region and you brothers here. And thank you for all those positive words, Mr. Webb. There's some great information that you're providing, and I wish I could stay on to get a lot more. But again, thank you, brothers, and congratulations, Brother Howard.
I appreciate you, Brother Vice Director. Now, brothers, I want to go back to Mr. Larry Webb, who's getting ready to go deep into some of the resources for SBA marketing. And after he touches on that, we're going to spend the last 7 minutes or so. I hope some of y'all are ready. If y'all was on the last couple calls, y'all know what we get ready to do, right? Using some real examples. And again, brothers, as you take into what Mr. Webb is saying with the resources, I hope you are preparing, some examples. And we're going back to those discussion topics, those questions that we talked about earlier. We're going to bring them back. And we're going to have you present those in, a 2 or 3 minute segment. And you get feedback from, myself and Brother Webb, and those all on the call. So I hope you're ready to rock and roll. But Brother Webb, I want to get the mic back to you to share some resources before we go into my favorite part of the workshop.
Absolutely. And I know that you heard from my colleague at your last meeting from Florida. She is phenomenal. So I know that some of you have already heard about these resources. I just want to remind folks about the resources that exist and then how you get connected with them. And I will do that and then give you guys plenty of time. I'm trying to give you more than 7 minutes to hear from your brothers and answer questions and what have you. I'm going to talk about the federal resources, and then I'm going to talk about some local resources, because I think that sometimes people forget about stuff in their own backyard. So the SBA provides grants to organizations to help us. We are a very small agency. We have about 2,000 to 4,000 people, depending on disasters, quite frankly, that work for the agency. So we're a small fish. And so we leverage other resources, and those resources are small business development centers throughout the country. So if you're in Maine, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, there are resources literally within miles of you that we've already paid for through your tax dollars. So you can go and connect with them for free. I'm going to give you the link, and you may already have it queued up anyway. So that's one. There's small business development centers. So for my region specifically, we have small business development centers at the state, which is HBCU. We have down at Howard University, which obviously I don't need to say that. We have them at University of Maryland at College Park, which is right down the road from me here. I live near there. We have them in Virginia, etc. That network exists wherever you are. That network, obviously, they're not always going to be HBCUs because HBCUs are not everywhere, but they serve the same purpose to help small businesses start, grow, expand, and scale their business. Right. So you can be a nascent business, and I assume some of the businesses that we're talking to are somewhat nascent because this is sort of a pitch competition for new businesses. But you can also be an existing business. Why are you in business? Are you trying to sell your business down the road and recoup the benefit of that? Are you in business to leave this to your kids or for generational wealth? Those are two different paths, and they require different intentions. And so that's one of the first questions you should be asking yourself is, what is this business for? Is it because I hate my job and I just need to get out? Right? That is another option. But that is a short-term solution, right? What's the long-term goal that you're looking for in this business? Because that makes the difference between that type of business where you're getting, using debt financing, maybe some grants or whatever, versus equity injections where you are saying to folks, this is going to be $100 million business, or this is going to be a big business, and you should want to get in now because I'm going to be trying to sell this in 3 to 5 years. That's a very different process. And so the small business development centers are places where you can begin to have that conversation. They can help you with marketing. They can help you with all of those tools about finding out about your market, about finding out about your customers, about finding out about your competitors, and figuring out where you are placed in a particular community. If you have a soul food restaurant, where do you want to be? Who do you want to sell to? Are you doing a fusion soul food restaurant that might, that's soul food and maybe Asian, and you want to then be in a community that is going to be interested in that? So those are the types of things that a small business development center can do. We also have what are called women's business centers. Obviously, I'm talking to a group of men. However, women's business centers are completely capable of doing that same work for you, and they are not only for women. And so I would be remiss if I did not mention that there are less of those than the others, than the Small Business Development Center because of funding and you understand the world we live in, but they are growing, and now we have one in every state. We also have what's called VBOC, which is Veterans Business Outreach Centers. Some of you may be veterans. I don't know what all of your backgrounds are, but if you are a veteran, that is another source of information, another free tool that you have in your toolbox. And lastly, we have what are called SCORE. Now, SCORE, typically, I would suggest if you have been in business for 2 years or more, that's where you will want to go. These are free, generally retired or near sort of gray-haired folks who have been CFOs, CEOs, owners of businesses or high up in private industry that are volunteering their time to help you figure out your path as an entrepreneur. Once you have a mentor, you have a mentor for as long as you want them. And they come from all industries. So wouldn't it be great if you were a bookseller to talk to someone from Barnes and Noble or Amazon? Wouldn't it be great if you were a cook to talk to someone who worked for a multinational organization that prepared food so that you know how to scale? Wouldn't it be great if you were a CEO to talk to someone who actually has run a business, a large business, about how they spend their time? Because as an entrepreneur, I'm going to wrap this up. As an entrepreneur, part of what you have to do is learn how to not work in your business, but on your business. If you're doing all the work, then you're never going to be able to scale. Let me say that one more time. If you're doing all the work, you're never going to be able to scale. And if you're not scaling, you're dying. Because someone else is going to be trying to chip away at that customer that you have. Someone else is always going to, just like you're going to be trying to chip away at the customers that already exist out there, because most times we're not selling something new in the market. We're selling a new take on it. And so one of the things that's really important, that doesn't mean that you can't be a solo entrepreneur and keep the work and what have you, but you have to put some time away about building customers. And if you want to scale, the way to do that is to find someone as competent as you that can do the work while you go out and build the company, right? Get new customers. I know Wes knows this in the world of government contracting. You got to go out there and do RFIs. You got to go out there and do pitches. You got to go out there and meet people. You have to be networking. You have to be in rooms with people. You can't be behind a desk all day doing the work. If you're an accountant, you can't be doing all of the accounting. You have to find someone that can do that as good as you so that you can go out and get more customers. And so this resource network that is here, and I'm going to say this one more time with the folks in the back, these free resources that you've already paid for with your tax dollars are the will that you can get on top of so that you don't have to recreate it. These are folks that know, that have talked to hundreds and thousands of businesses, just like yours, that have either owned their own businesses or have been in business. So they're not novice, they're not folks that are just reading books, that can help you figure out how to get from point A to point B without falling through the holes that a lot of entrepreneurs do. There has not been an entrepreneur that I've ever spoken to that has utilized one of these resources and said, oh my God, if I had known about this 5, 10 years ago. So with that, I'm going to end. I know that you guys have some other things to do at 8 o'clock. So thank you for allowing me a moment to speak with you about those resources. I don't know if you have the slide for that, but it's very simple. SBA.gov. Go to the page. All you have to do is click local assistance and put in your zip code for your business. And you can do 5, 10, 20, 50 miles away from you, and they'll give you all the resources. If you're in the DMV area, the first thing you'll see is the Washington Metropolitan Area District Office. That is my office. Please feel free to reach out to me. My name and information is on the website. And thank you so much, Rashawn.
We absolutely appreciate all the knowledge and gems that you've given us today. Brothers, we do have a hard stop at 8, so I want to open up for some Q&A if there is any. So does any brothers have any questions for either Larry, myself, Wes, or just anything in general?
Keep it short. Keep my answer short.
No questions. Everybody was in listen only mode. All right. Well,
let me just say this, not a question, but there's a comment. I appreciate the nuggets tonight from everyone. What you've given us is not something you'll find in a textbook. It's wisdom. It's like unwritten wisdom that we would not otherwise get, or we would get it through trials and tribulations. So I appreciate that.
We appreciate you for being on and being a part.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So brothers, what I'll do over the next couple minutes is there's a couple things. Larry put the SBA.gov/local assistance in the chat. It's also on the BBB resource guide, which is on impact1914.org under SBA. You click on that, it'll take you right to that same link. and you'll be able to put your SBA person, look up your SBA person. Brothers, more information to come. We are going to do coaching sessions. I'm going to try plug Larry. I'm going to try to bring Larry and Janelle and those who will be our judges back for a Zoom call where you'll be able to schedule a 15-minute coaching session. I'm looking at doing it the week before the applications are due. The applications are due January 15th. January 15th. The applications are due. Okay. December on our social media, on our resource guide, on Facebook, on Instagram, we are completely focusing on Billboard. We will be releasing videos on how to understand the application, on what we're looking for on the application. We'll be releasing infographics on some of the workshops that we had. We will be releasing highlights from each and every one of these 3 workshops throughout December. So I hope you're tapped in. If you're not already tapped in, go to our Instagram and go to Instagram, go to the search and type in PBS East _BBB. And if you're not already following the Instagram, follow our Instagram. If you're not already tapped into Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated Eastern Regional Bigger and Better Business, make sure that you are following that page. Go follow that page and make impact1914.org your favorites, your bookmark, whatever you got to do, because all the information will be on there under the Billboard Jackson tab as well. So brothers, we are getting ready to pump a plethora of resources out to you over the next 30 days to ensure that you are successful in applying for the Billboard Jackson. This is how this is going to work, okay? The first round is your business plan. You do not have to have an active business to apply for the Billboard Jackson. You have to have a business idea, a solid one, okay? And you have to have an understanding of how to put a business plan together and how you are going to take these funds to start your business. You can also be an established business trying to take your business to the next level. I lost to a well-established business. In 2023, my business was only 4 years old. I lost to a medical startup who's been pitching his business for 10 years. Yeah, I'm still sorry about it if you can't tell. It was just unfair. It was just unfair. But that's okay. So if you have an established business and you want to take it to the next level, apply. If you have a startup that you want to take to the next level, apply, right? So we're going to look at business plans. Our judges are going to look at business plans, and the 5 best business plans will make it to the semifinals, where you'll present your business plan in front of the Eastern region at the leadership conference from February 8th to March 1st, whichever day it falls on, either February 28th to March 1st, whatever day it falls on, either the 28th or the 1st. I'm sorry, I take that back. You'll be presenting on Zoom. The semifinals will be on Zoom, either the January 28th or somewhere around there. And then the finals will be at the leadership conference. The top 2 people from collegiate ranks to alumni ranks will make it to the finals, February 28th to March 1st, where you'll pitch to the Eastern region and live and in person. And that winner will represent us internationally to defend my honor to bring that throne to the Eastern region, which I couldn't do in 2023. So brothers, again, I appreciate you for joining. Larry, I thank you for stopping in. We're definitely going to have you back in a part of those coaching sessions. Please be on the lookout. And brothers, enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk soon.
Take care. Thank you so much for having me. I put some other links in the there for you.